Yo, what's good, everybody? Go ahead, the like button, subscribe. This is the First and Goal Conference Championship Week edition for college football. So make sure you tune in. I'm going to try to do an update video, possibly Friday morning or Thursday night. So stay tuned for that. Just in case if I get any updated information on these games, I will give it to you guys. So let's get straight to this first pick here. On Friday, we got Western Kentucky heading out to Jacksonville, Alabama, facing off against Western Kentucky. I'm sorry, against Jacksonville State. Both these teams 8-4 on the season. Right now, Jacksonville State's -4 over and under 57 and a hook. And first glance at this game, this is an immediate revenge game. Jacksonville State just lost to this team at the end of the year. 19-17 was the score. It was an under game. I think this game will be total opposite. This should be an over game. Both these teams have solid quarterbacks. Uh, let's see. To start the year, Jacksonville State, they started off rocky, 0-3. But then, as you can see, they won about 8 or 9 straight. Won 8 games straight, excuse me. And then they lost to Western Kentucky. So I think they get back on track here. Now, whether they cover this 3 or not too sure. Line just actually moved up as we're speaking about it. Looks like some sharp money's coming in on Jacksonville State. So I lean that way just because they're at home. I trust the quarterback. He's a senior. Let's go to the game cast real quick. We're going to break these games down together here. Let me see. So, yeah, we got Huff. Veltkamp is a solid quarterback. He can throw the ball. 22 TDs, 10 interceptions. So Western Kentucky likes to air it out. I know a high-scoring game would favor Western Kentucky, but with the immediate revenge on their mind for Jacksonville State and them being at home in this matchup, I like Jacksonville State to win. And if I was playing it, I would take them to cover. That's the only way. And if you look here, Tyler Huff is a senior. I like taking the more experienced quarterbacks in these conference championships games. Veltkamp, sophomore, but he's 6'6". Nice QB here. I'm going Jacksonville State in this one. A game I wouldn't pick. I wouldn't place any money on this game. Just watch this game. I do think Jacksonville State should eke out a win, though. Next game, and the game I like here, we got number 22, UNLV, 10-2 on the season, heading out to Boise. Number 11 on the season, 11-1. How about the Boise State Broncos, ladies and gentlemen? Gentry has been running the ball effectively. Heisman candidate. I don't think he'll get the Heisman. We all know Travis Hunter pretty much solidified that last week against Oklahoma State. So in this particular matchup, I love Boise State -4. Reasons being, I know UNLV, they have revenge because Boise State beat them early on in the season. But Boise wants that bye. That's very critical. And a home game. And in this matchup, they're at home on the blue turf, Smurf turf. I like Boise in this matchup. I think Gentry, last time he played against UNLV, he didn't have many yards. He didn't have a great game. I think that changes here. It's hard to stop a guy like that 2 times. Hopefully the coach gets creative with the playbook. Don't just run predictable plays with Gentry. Get him rolling out. Get some of the short passes down the middle for Gentry so he can get some extra yards. I think Boise keeps moving the chains here. It's going to be cold at night in Boise. I don't see this dome team UNLV doing anything with this hot Boise State team who's been on a run ever since they lost to Oregon. They've been winning. They haven't lost a game. I like Boise -4 here in this matchup. But shots out to UNLV. They're an improving team. This will be a good program coming here in the future. And I see them doing some big things later on. Next matchup, another matchup Friday night. We got number 17, Tulane. These are early rankings. Tulane shouldn't be ranked after that loss to Memphis they just had last week. So Tulane 9-3 on the season, facing off against Army, who's 10-1. And man, what can I say? Army's at home here. I like taking these home teams in the conference championships. Now, they don't always win, but I do like taking the home teams. Tulane Mensa, their quarterback, he's a beast. He's a freshman, but he doesn't play like a freshman. Transfer from Oregon, and he's I believe he was a 5-star recruit coming out of high school. So I do like this Tulane team. I do believe Tulane is a better team. But if you giving me 5 in the hook with Army at home in West Point, New York, I don't know if the books are begging me to take it, but that's the only way I could look in this conference championship late night is Army. You know, Daly, the quarterback, he's a senior, got a lot of experience. These guys are not going to make any mistakes. And yes, Tulane, they know this option offense. We all know that Tulane played Navy on early in the season, but I think this matchup will be much closer than that game against Navy. Army is definitely the better team than Navy. I see Daly coming out here. I see them mucking up this game. I see it being an under game. Maybe Tulane wins with the late field goal, but I got Army plus 5 in the hook in that late night American Athletic Championship game. Next game, we're going to the Saturday slate. We got the Dr. Pepper Big 12 Championship. This is at AT&T Stadium, ladies and gentlemen, Arlington, Texas, 9 a.m. We got currently ranked number 18 Iowa State 10-2 on the year, facing off against number 16 Arizona State 10-2 on the year. Right now, the line is ASU -2. Total is 50 in a hook. Right now, I like ASU, and I already bet this game, ladies and gentlemen. So this is a game I actually have some money on it. Reasons being, you haven't seen this running back for Arizona State, Scatterboo, get ready. He's like a watered down McCaffrey. They can put him out. He can catch some balls on the screen. He can keep running. It's hard to tackle, hard to take to the ground. So I love Arizona State in this matchup. I give all the credit to Iowa State. Rocco Beck, this quarterback, he's nice. They can score some points. Their defense is solid as well. I give them that. I just think this Arizona State team has been playing with their heads on fire. Let's look at the last 4 or 5 games for Arizona State. Look at this. Oklahoma State, 42-21. UCF. Now, UCF's not a good team. They got a W. Wasn't a great W, but they got one. But look, at Kansas State, 24-14. Ranked BYU, 28-23. Arizona, 49-7. Now, some people will say, well, Arizona's horrible. But if you looked at last week, a lot of these rival games were really close, and a lot of upsets happened over the weekend. So that Arizona game was not as easy as people think, and they throttled Arizona. So I love Arizona State in this matchup. Another reason being, this game is in Texas. You guys don't know geography. Texas is right next to Arizona, one state over. They will have more fans there. I know Iowa State travels. They're a good program. But I just see this team right here, Arizona State. They're just on fire right now. I got to take ASU. And this is a game I actually took. I took it at 2.5. Right now, it's -2. So lay that -2 with Arizona State, and let's make this money. All right, let's move along. We got the MAC championship game here. It's at Ford Field in Detroit, Michigan. Another early morning 9 a.m. game here on the West Coast. Miami, Ohio, -2 in the hook. Over and under 44.5. All right. So I did a little research before I got on here. And I'm not a big MAC guy. You know, I got family from Ohio. So I do know a little bit about some of these teams. I had a cousin that played football for Ohio University. And I just did, I went through the history and the MAC championships, and Miami, Ohio wins a lot of these championships. I do like Miami, Ohio quarterback. Brett Gabbert, Blaine Gabbert's brother, he's solid. Initially, I was leaning that way, but this Bobcats team has been on fire. I like their defense. If you guys don't know, this team has been playing pretty good. And Navarro, he's not a great quarterback, but he can do enough, I think, to keep the chains moving. Miami, Ohio is a little bit more experienced, but something's telling me this is a revenge game. First off, for Miami or for Ohio, the Bobcats. And I'm taking the Bobcats here. I do like Gabbert, man. I wanted to take Miami, Ohio in this game. This is a game I will not be putting any money on. Of course, it's a MAC game, but I'm just going to give you my prediction. I think Ohio wins this game due to the fact it's at a neutral site. Not only that, Ohio hasn't won a MAC championship since 1968. Now, if that's not enough motivation for your team, I don't know what is. You guys can put out a 40-year drought for a MAC championship. Give me Ohio in this matchup. I just think it's too much motivation for this team. Go along with the fact this is a revenge game here. Give me Ohio. I'm getting juiced up about it. My body got chills after that 40-year drought I just said. Let's take my Ohio against Miami, Ohio at a neutral site in Ford Field, and let's cash that ticket. Next game, big dog, baby. Let's go. SEC championship here. This is being played in Atlanta, Georgia, Mercedes-Benz Stadium. 1 p.m. ABC, midday game, 4 p.m. out there, you know what I'm saying, in the South. We got Georgia, man. Currently ranked number 7 before these rankings are updated. 10-2 on the year, facing off against Texas. In a rematch game, number 3 currently ranked Texas, 11-1 on the year. And you already know where I'm going with this one. I'm going with Georgia. I know this is a rematch. I know this is a revenge game for Texas, but why not take Georgia again? It's in Atlanta. Georgia's coming off of that 8 overtime game. I know that extra day they have, I don't consider that rest because they had damn near 2 games they played. So I don't think they're getting extra rest, but they don't have to travel. They're staying in Atlanta. They can game plan. They know what Texas likes to do. Now, Texas has been playing great as well. Ever since that loss to Georgia, they haven't did anything but win. But they haven't looked the same since that loss to Georgia. Not to mention that first game they played against Georgia, Texas, both teams had a lot of turnovers. Texas had a lot of fumbles. I believe Ewers threw 1 interception, but Beck threw 3 interceptions. And yes, we know Etienne saved the day for Georgia in that game. He's questionable this week. I don't think he plays. But the backup, he's been holding it down. Frazier for Georgia, he's been doing his thing. So I still lean Georgia. If you're going to give me points here, and they're in Atlanta. Now, I did place some money on this game. I placed my own money. I took Georgia plus the 3. It already went down to 2 on the hook. So it looked like some sharp money. Came in on Georgia. They put this line down. They want you guys to take this Texas minus 2 on the hook because they would just have to win by a field goal, right? Wrong. I think Georgia wins this. They take this SEC title. Not to mention, I think Texas just moving to the SEC. I can't see them just coming into the SEC and already owning the SEC. They got to go through Georgia in Atlanta. Give me Georgia in a tough, hard-fought, low-scoring game. I'm taking Georgia Bulldogs plus the 3. They will win this SEC title and move along. And not to mention, just give you a tidbit of information. The championship this year, guess where it is? Mercedes-Benz Stadium. I'll leave it at that. Next game, Marshall, 9-3 on the year. They're facing off against the Raging Cajuns, 10-2 on the season. Sun Belt Championship here, and this game is being played in Lafayette, Louisiana. I told you guys I like the home teams for most of the part. Slight lean to Louisiana here. They are laying a little bit too much for me, but that's the only way I can lean. This Marshall team has been solid on the year, but Louisiana, man, they've been silently and quietly winning, cashing tickets as well, covering games. So I like the Raging Cajuns. Let's spice it up. Let's get some gumbo. Let's do this thing right here. I like the Raging Cajuns to win this game. It should be a high-scoring game. This total is 56 in the hook. It's like they're telling us something. I like this matchup for Raging Cajuns being at home. But this Marshall team is not no pushover, so it's tough laying 5.5, especially in these championship games. Not much more on these teams because I haven't watched Marshall much. I watched a couple games of Raging Cajuns, so let's go Raging Cajuns. Next game here, and man, this is a big one here. And I might surprise you guys with this pick. I like so Penn State is facing off number 4 Penn State 11-1 on the year, facing off against the number 1 team in the country, Oregon 12-0 in the season. This is at Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis, Indiana. Oregon's -3.5, so we're at a neutral site. Total is 49 and a hook. And yeah, Oregon's been rolling, man. 12-0 in the year. Can't say anything bad about this team. They've been handling business. They took care of Ohio State earlier in the year. But after Ohio State took that loss, I'm starting to think, like, is Ohio State really that good? Yeah, that was the rival Michigan. They just took an L2, but they were not supposed to lose to Michigan. No way, no how. Not at home after you already lost to them 3 years in a row. And this Michigan team cannot move the ball. They played into Michigan's hands, that Ohio State team. But let's get off of Michigan. Let's get back to Oregon. I'm not sure if Tez is back. I haven't kept track of Oregon these past 3 weeks. I know he had got hurt. One of their all-star wide receivers, James, their running back, he's a beast. You know, of course, Dillon Gabriel. On the other end, you got a Penn State team. They only took an L to Ohio State. So some people will look at that. Oregon beat Ohio State. Penn State lost to Ohio State. Penn State always loses to Ohio State. I don't know what it is about that matchup, but they always do. You got Drew Aller, quarterback for Penn State, and can't think of their tight end, but he's a beast. That's their main weapon for Penn State. I like their running back as well. What's his name? Allen, I believe. Penn State's running back is solid. If you guys haven't seen this guy, he's a good running back. Singleton, I'm sorry. Thinking of another team. Yeah, so Singleton, he's a beast as well. And if you look at this matchup predictor, they got Penn State favored. And I think Penn State wins this game. I'm going to tell you guys why. Reason number 1, Oregon has not played the stiffest competition. Now, they are in the Big Ten as well, but let's go through their schedule real quick. Let's go through it. Early on outer conference, they played Boise, but remember, Boise kept that game close. Boise had a chance to win that game. Yeah, they beat Ohio State. We already talked about that, but there was a 1-point squeak win. If Will Howard would have slid earlier, Ohio State had a chance to win that game. But pretty much everybody else, you know what I'm saying, were beatable teams. Illinois, they were overrated. Michigan can't move the ball. Maryland's trash. Wisconsin was not good this year, and they barely beat Wisconsin on the road by 3. So I think this game is going to get ugly. I think this is going to be a Penn State run the ball, control the clock, keep the ball out of Dillon Gabriel's hands. I like this 3 in the hook with Penn State here. I know everybody's going to run to the window and take Oregon, and rightfully so. Oregon is the better team, but you guys got to remember, these are conference championship matchups, and sometimes the better team does not win, especially on a neutral field. So I think it's a lot of value here in Penn State plus the 3.5. Oregon may still win by 3 with a field goal, but I think the Natty Lions come in here and get a Big Ten title. You guys can't let a new team from the Pac-12 come in here and run you guys out of your conference. This is the chance. If you guys don't know, Penn State, this is their chance to win a Big Ten title, because after this season, Michigan's going to get better. I'm sure Ohio State's always going to get better. And you still got Oregon. So this is all Penn State's chance to get a W. Oregon pretty much got almost a bye locked up. They said, the committee has spoken and said that if your team loses in the conference title, it shouldn't hurt you as much. So I think Oregon's looking ahead to maybe, a national title to try to win. I think Penn State wants this big win on their resume and could possibly even get a bye as well. So we'll see what happens, or at least get a 5th seed in the playoffs. We'll see what happens in this game, but I like Penn State and the value with the plus 3 in the hook. Last game on the slate for Saturday, 5 p.m. ABC matchup. Oh, this is a tough one. ACC Championship, Charlotte, North Carolina, Bank of America Stadium. Number 12, Clemson, current rankings 9-3 on the year, facing off against number 9, SMU. What SMU stand for? Southern Methodist, 11-1. And man, we got SMU favored over and under 56 and a hook. Now, please, ladies and gentlemen, what's good? My guy Jay, what's popping with you, brother? Yeah, man, I'm over here like trying to figure out this last game. This game, I've been going back and forth. Maybe later on in the week, I could give you guys some better information. Right now, I lean to SMU. I think they have the better offense, but you got to remember, Clemson's defense is legit, man. Clemson up front is scary. I don't know if SMU O-line can hold. Now, if SMU O-line can hold it down, yeah, SMU going to win this game regardless. Another thing we got to mention, though, this is a tough travel spot for SMU. Clemson's what? From South Carolina, next state over. It's not a travel. They'll have a lot of fans there. They got a chance to make a playoff, and they're a 9-3 team. You think they're not juiced up if they just got to beat SMU to get in the playoff? Man, it's a tough one to pull the trigger. Right now, I lean Clemson just because of the offensive line and the defensive line for this team. Slight lean to Clemson, but this SMU team is not no pushover. So high total, I think this might, if it's an under type game, that's a Clemson game. It's an over type game, it's an SMU game. All right, that's it for you guys, ladies and gentlemen. Let me go over some of my best bets real quick for y'all before we get out of here. Sorry about that. I didn't put the ticker for each team. I was rushing through this video. I will do an updated video, though, for y'all. Best believe that. All right, ASU -2. Some of my best bets here. And as I stated in the video, Scatterboo, I think he's too much, man. That running back is serious for Arizona State. If you haven't seen this team, go watch some of the tape. They're legit. Next game, got to take the Bulldogs, man. Got to take Georgia plus the 3. I know the line dropped to 2 and a hook. But if you might want to wait, see if it goes back up to 3, and always take the plus 3, the key number. You have to. A lot of these games can end in a field goal or less, as we've been seeing a lot lately. These 1 point missing extra points. So these teams be winning by 2 and 1 point. So why not take the Bulldogs plus 3? And last but not least, Boise State. I just believe in this team. I believe this team will get a bye. This is a historic program, Boise State. I'm sure they make the playoffs. They'll have a tough time in the playoffs just because their defense is not good at all. But they can score the rock. So you got to be careful against this Boise State team. I think them being here at home is a little too much for UNLV. I know they have revenge on their mind. I know they hate this team, but Gentry will be ready. So that's it for you guys, ladies and gentlemen. First and Goal College Football Conference Championship video of the week. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe. I will be tapping in with y'all doing a new video later on in the week. In the meantime, in between time, let's get this cash, y'all. This is not financial advice. Yeah. Nah, don't judge. Eat how you gonna eat, keep it legit. And please don't bother me, rather in advance. Or you hit the lottery, buy new commodities.